Hey everyone, I'm Cahlen, and today I want to talk to you about how I have found that I am adapting to the cold, right? So I'm a person who's fairly skinny, and many of you know that I've basically been living outside since June, and it's December now, and I kind of have the goal of living outside all throughout this coming winter. And of course, the first thing I noticed is that when it starts getting really cold, my feet start getting cold, my hands get cold, and as it starts to get dark every day, and then when it gets really cold, like early in the morning, right before the sun comes up, that I actually start having problems staying warm, or at least I did in the kind of when things started getting cold. But something that I noticed is that my body actually has gotten used to it and has kind of changed itself so that I actually stay warmer. And now I sleep through the entire night and never at any point feel cold at all, even though it's actually colder now than it was before. So I think that's an interesting thing, worth noting. It's not necessarily normal for someone, at least nowadays, for someone to live outside, and now it seems normal to me, even though a lot of people think it's crazy. But anyways, I think it's kind of like a little scientific experiment and worth sharing with you that type of information. That if you live outside and you're cold, it'll be uncomfortable for a while, but then your body will get used to it, and it won't really be too much of an issue anymore. So, of course, you still gotta maintain the minimal. You gotta still have the gear, right? You gotta have the layers of clothes, and there's specific layers that I would recommend people have. And then you gotta have the layers of sleeping bags, right? So it's good to have kind of your summer sleeping bag and then your winter sleeping bag, and you can pair them together inside of a bivy type situation. These things are important because there's, of course, certain amounts of cold which you're never going to be able to adapt yourself to. If you take all your clothes off and you lie naked in the middle of the winter, it doesn't matter how adapted to the cold you are, you're probably not going to survive that. And there are other strategies. I'm kind of when it comes to these things, I like to do things kind of passively. But if you are in a situation where you are cold, and in order to survive, or at least to be comfortable enough to be sane, you need to warm up, and you don't have access to fire or anything, then doing things like the Wim Hof breathing method might be worth looking into. I don't really like doing the Wim Hof breathing thing. I kind of have a hang up about breathing exercises, but if it ever gets down to it, and I feel like I might die if I don't, then I will do that, and I do know how to do that. So it's good to have that piece of information. So, anyways, this Friday, which is 2 days from now, it's Wednesday today. It's gonna get really cold. It's gonna get down to like 8 degrees Fahrenheit. And it hasn't gotten anywhere near that cold yet. It's been kind of in the low 20s, like 22 degrees is the coldest I've seen it so far. And so we'll see how that goes. Tomorrow I'm going to be coming out into the wilderness and gathering up a bunch of firewood. Might make a video about that, but just to get in preparation for that. And also it might even snow. So I consider this to be winter already, although technically I guess we're still in fall. I think the way we think about the seasons is a little bit weird, since the beginning of winter is actually the first day that we start moving, that the sun starts actually coming back. And so in my mind, that's sort of like the beginning of spring, but I get why people don't see it that way. But anyways, I'm just rambling. Just thought you guys should know that the body does get used to cold. I'm someone who's really sensitive to cold, and I'm doing just fine. And I also want to mention, like, I did notice that when I eat a lot of a fatty food, like the days when I eat a lot of peanut butter are days when I basically don't notice the cold at all, even if it is really cold outside. So, it is good to also give yourself the fuel that the body needs to generate heat. So, all right, that's it for this one. See you guys later. If you enjoyed this video, I hope you'll share it with someone that you care about. It helps them, it helps me, and it'll help you feel like a healthy type of person. If you're feeling extra generous, you can head on over to cahlen.org/gift, and there you can basically learn of ways to help me feed myself, shelter myself, and to upgrade and repair my gear. All donations give you the option of having a 1-hour life coaching call with me. So Thanks again for watching.